This could be the most easy to hit golf club I have ever tried here on Let's Play Through. On today's video, we're taking a look at the all-new Cobra Bafflers, a design that was first created back in 1975 and has been reinvented here and reworked for 2025. Wild stuff. This is going to be a fantastic set, I think, for the lady golfers out there, as well as seniors, folks that are losing swing speed, as well as beginners, people that just want an easy to get up in the air club. We're gonna be playing 9 holes of golf here with these clubs to test them out and put them through their paces, but first let's take a closer look. All right, so the Baffler set is a 7-piece set. Now, the makeup is so interesting because in this 7 pieces, you've literally got 4 different types of clubs. And as we'll talk about later, there's the ability to add a 5th club. We'll get into that later on. So up at the top of the bag, we're gonna have hybrids. This is the 4-in-5 hybrid. As you can see, these rails at the bottom are the definitive aspect of the Baffler design. This is gonna allow the club to really slide under. Also, it adds extra mass, which is going to give you lift and give you a higher MOI. That's moment of inertia. That fancy talk just means you're gonna be able to get the ball up in the air higher and it go a little bit straighter and more forgiving. Now the set starts to transition here at the 6 iron. Now this is not exactly an iron, they call it a hybrid iron. So the 6 and 7 iron are hybrid irons. They have what looks to be a real game improvement look here up at the top of the club, and the hybrid kind of peeks out there at the bottom of this club. So a really wild design, and I think a really good one. Now, at the 8 iron, this set changes again. Now what we have is a hollow iron. So like a hollow bodied, you think of like a P790 or one of the many options that every maker has now, where this is not a cavity back. It looks more like a blade, but inside you've got a hollow bit of cavity that's going to, again, allow for much more forgiveness and to be able to shift mass around. So you have that up to the 9 iron, and at the pitching wedge, now we've got an actual cavity back. So we're getting less forgiveness as we're working our way up the bag, and that's exactly what you want because you want more control as you work lower into the set. Now the shaft that I've got on mine here today are the ultralight 50-gram regular stiffness graphite shaft. I will talk about shaft options there out on course, but that's what we're playing with here today. Now, generally, I play a steel stiff shaft, so I will have to make a few adjustments to the swing here today in order to play these, but not a big deal. And in case you're wondering about the grips, they come standard with a lambkin crossline. Now there's that 5th option, and I'll talk to you about that out on course. I don't have that in the set for us right now, but we'll discuss. One other caveat here is that the ladies set is just slightly different from what I've got here in the men's set. The ladies set is going to have a 5 and 6 hybrid, and then it's going to start to transition into those hybrid irons, those hollow bodied irons, and then those cavity backs from there. Now, as you can see, I have taken out the driver and woods out of this bag. I will be adding a couple of wedges just for shots around the green, and of course my putter. But we're gonna pretty much just go irons only today. We're gonna try to go low. My over-under is gonna be +2 for 9 holes of golf. That's gonna be our target score to see if we can play some good golf with these and see how forgiving they are out on the golf course. And we'll be playing from a forward set of tees here at the club, because again, I think that's who these clubs are best suited for. Let's have some fun and let's get to work. I've also got some technology here to aid us from our partner playbetter.com. I've got my G80, which will give us some launch data. It's also gonna give us GPS distances so I see how far I'm hitting these clubs. 4 hybrid in hand here on this shorter par 4. All right, looking left side of the fairway there. Off the club face, very nice feeling and sounding there. Pretty good peak height, and you're gonna get that out of a hybrid. You're gonna get much higher launch than you would get with an iron. And of course, the long irons in so many sets, people are switching to hybrids anyways. So this set just gives it to you out of the gate, which is kind of nice. In terms of distance, I don't think I hit that too far. I took a much more restrained swing than my normal golf swing with these regular shafts, but let's see how far that one flew. 181 is the number there. So like I said, not a massive hit, but we're in the right part of the fairway. Right in the middle, which is nice. Left middle. Should be a good angle on this pin here. Now this is gonna be a more challenging shot because we're back here at 157. Normally that would be like an 8 iron for me. But I think with this particular shaft, I'm gonna take it down to a 7 here. But that is right at it. We'll see if we got the right club selection. All right, looks like it may have come up just a little bit short there. But boy, that was like a straight bullet. Super easy. Ridiculously easy to hit these clubs. Feel, again, with the 7-iron there, for a cast club, excellent, honestly. Again, really nice piercing trajectory. I've got a very easy chip shot here, hopefully to save our par. Okay. The putter's been the Achilles heel, actually, for me lately. Let's see if we can get it grooving early here today with this 4-footer to save par. Just like that. All right, we're heading to 2. It's a little longer par 4, so we're gonna need to really crank up the speed here so we can get a lower iron here in our hand. So let's talk shafts on these clubs. There are 3 options. So if you're a lady, you're gonna have the ladies shafts that are available to you. Now, when it gets into the men's sets, you've got 2 flex options. You've got regular, which is gonna be for someone probably in about the 90-mile-an-hour swing speed, somewhere in that range. And then you've got an A flex. So if you're a senior, that A stands for amateur, or basically a senior flex. That's gonna be somewhere around the 80-mile-an-hour swing speed. Now, the men are also gonna have 2 options. You're going to have a steel shaft, which is $799, or a graphite shaft, which is $899. And you might be wondering which is best for me. A graphite shaft is going to be a little bit more consistent of a shaft. And what that means is the bend of the shaft, kind of when it hits the club, is generally going to be the same as it strikes the ball on impact. It's just going to give you a little bit more, again, consistency. So you've got 2 options there. It's really a preference thing and maybe a budget thing at that point. All right, so again, kind of straightaway par 4 here. Let's see if we can keep this 4 hybrid in position. The miss on this hole is right rather than left. I'm also going to see if I can hit a little bit more of a cut shot here. And then a cut shot for a right-handed player works left to right. They also call it a fade. A lot of amateurs have a slice. We don't want a slice. A slice is kind of like a banana. So I want a real gentle cut, which is left to right movement. We'll see if we can pull it off. That's exactly what we did. Now I am going to miss right. We'll be off the fairway over there, so we'll see what kind of lie we've got, and we'll see how these things react in this wet, dewy morning grass. A lot of times when you've got a real thick sole on a club, and that's the bottom of a club, it's a little harder to penetrate through the grass and keep the club face square, because what happens is the club wants to twist and turn as it gets through the grass. A lot of times, especially thicker rough, wants to turn a club in, all right? So we'll see what kind of lie we have. Now, the good news about that shot, even though I missed the fairway, was we did get that fade, that little cut shot I was trying to play. So it's nice that even in a super game improvement set like this Baffler set, we're still able to move the ball a little bit, because you need to shape shots to some degree, at least as you progress and get better at golf. You're going to want to move the ball around a little bit. And it's nice that you still have some flexibility here, because a lot of times clubs like this, which are meant to be straight, it's tough to do. All right, so I actually have a brutal lie here in the fairway. It's almost nearly completely covered. So I'll hopefully show you how to hit that shot. Now I've got 130 in. We need a little extra club. Just being the morning, we're gonna lose distance, and also being so far sitting down, we're absolutely gonna lose distance. On a shot like this, like I said, the tendency of a club is to twist left for a righty, meaning I wanna give myself a little room to the right in case that happens. You just wanna correct for what could potentially happen. Now, the only little issue here is I've got water on my right short, all right? So if it doesn't do that, we could have problems, but we'll see how this one does. Man, again, right on target more or less where I want it to be. I got just a little bit of twisting there, but luckily I made that adjustment. This is not going to be like a blade cutting through the rough, let's be honest. There's going to be a trade-off for a club like this, but we were able to get it near the green, which means hopefully we can get the short game working again and get up and down. You also, you know, as you begin to get a little bit better at golf, you got to think about game management and where you can miss. I knew I couldn't miss right here. And then left is the bunker. So we left it right in front in this little runway to the green. So if we're going to have an up and down attempt, this is about as easy as it gets. See if I can pull it off though. Yeah, almost hold it. All right, so we're off to a par 3. You know, I still don't have an ace yet. I'm looking for the elusive ace, and this could be the one. That would be something, because I've always said on this show that whatever clubs I get an ace with, I'll keep in my bag. This would be fun if this happens. All right, now a big problem for lady golfers especially, as well as beginners and seniors, is gapping. All right, now what is gapping? Gapping means that's the distance between how you hit each of your clubs. These clubs so far seem to do it really well. You want about a 10-yard difference between numbers on the club face. So from a 4 to a 5, you want about a 10-yard difference. From a 5 to a 6, 10 yards again, and so on down the line. So the way this set is made with this construction, that's what it's all about. These hybrids are going to allow you to, again, get the ball up in the air higher, and you need that launch and trajectory and able to hit it further. And you kind of progressively work your way back to where you don't need quite as much forgiveness in a more lofty club. So of all the sets we're testing out here on course, this is really a critical feature that's built into these in the engineering and really thought about. So that's why I think this could be a really good option for, again, especially ladies and seniors. 148 is the number from here. Now there is a little wind in my face. I didn't know that back on that last shot, but I now feel it here. And we did come up, if we remember right, a little bit short with our 7-iron at 155. So if I take a nice smooth swing with this one, 148 7-iron, I think that is going to be the ticket. Now, of all the clubs in the bag, the 7-iron is probably the oddest, but maybe the coolest at the same time, because it's kind of this amalgamation of a hybrid and an iron. It's got a very thick top line that sort of looks like it's a club in and of its own, and then it juts back out at the back of this club, almost like a hybrid would, and it kind of has this very round appearance looking down at the top. I'll tell you what, it instills a ton of confidence in the person swinging it, I've got to imagine. Well, I may be a little right of this green here, but again, super easy to hit. I mean, I almost don't even have to think about my swing mechanics, which I gotta say is kind of a refreshing thing out on the golf course for once. All right, well, we must have got a real bad kick over here, but that's golf. This is a very, very challenging shot because I'm what's called short-sighted, meaning I don't have a lot of room on the green to work with and not a lot of grass between me and the ball. So I've got to carry it a long way, and I've also got to, also kind of try to stop it short so it doesn't roll off into the bunker behind me. So really just getting this on the green is kind of what I'm hoping for. Well, didn't quite come out. So we got our first challenge of the day here. We'll need to get up and down from this position to save a bogey. Not a good one. Okay, way, way, way longer than I like to have for a bogey putt. We need to make this, otherwise we're gonna be right on the bubble early. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Maybe I got a little of the putter magic back finally. You needed it there, but we are still 1 over now. So we've got to pick it up. We got to start hitting some greens. I'm 0 for 3 in greens in regulation. They haven't missed by much, but I like to hit some greens and get some birdie opportunities. So I do have the putter working, which is great. It's been a long time coming, but putting is the one part of your game that really beginners don't practice enough. It's one thing getting to the green or around the green, but you've got to have a short game and especially a putter working for you if you're going to score well. So I highly recommend, don't just buy new golf clubs, go out on the range and spend all your time out there banging balls. Make sure you also take some of your time during the day and during your practice routine to really focus on the putting, because it's so important to scoring well out here. And again, just saving the real blow up holes. That could have easily been a double bogey if I didn't make that putt, which is a very tough putt. So practice your putting. Next hole here is a slight dog leg right. Again, I just want to go straight away, right? I got a straight club in my hand. I can try to get fancy, but I don't want to get cute here. I just want to get it in play and get, again, a lower iron so that I can hopefully hit that green in regulation that we've been missing so far. These hybrids, by the way, just beautiful. Nice gloss up top, very clean look. I love the Cobra alignment line with their little C and crown on top of that. Regal looking. But you can see a lot of the club face here on this hybrid. It's got a slight draw bias to it, which again is probably a good thing for folks that are gonna have a little slower swing speed out on the golf course. All right, let's see if we can get in position. Whoa. I came up out of it, and we're gonna be in the rough, scrambling again. So hopefully you can see on here that even though I've got an okay score going right now, I'm not always hitting great shots. So much of golf is just keeping your head in it and not allowing yourself to blow up. So, there's two approaches here. I got a tough lie on basically mud, and I could go up over a tree, to try to hit this green and be a hero. But if I want to limit damage, the better choice in this scenario is really just to play it out to the left, get back in the fairway, get moving again, and make it a little easier on myself. So that's the play. Now, I'm going to take the pitching wedge in this set, because I don't want to hit it too far, and I'm just going to take kind of a chip shot swing, all right, which means I'm not going to take it way back. I'm just taking it back, maybe not even halfway. I'm also, if you can see, choking up on the club. So you want to stand a little closer to the ball. You want to choke up on the club, get your hands down closer to the ground. I'm also opening my stance, if you can see that. And again, just taking a chip shot, trying to get us back in play. Don't want to be too much of a hero here. Just like that. So a shot like that limits damage, meaning if I miss this shot, I could be in the water. I'm looking at a 6, 7, 8, who knows, big numbers. Now, if I can even get near the green, I should be able to make a 5 at worst. Well, I say at worst, you never know, but I got a much better chance to make a 5, let's say that. So we've got a back pin here, which means we got a lot of green in front of us. So just to hit the green here, I only need to hit it about 90 yards, but it's 108 to the pin. I'm gonna hit the pitching wedge, just a nice, hopefully smooth swing. Can we pull it off? Let's see. Oh yeah, it's right on the line again, and it's in good shape. All right, so just so you have an idea of, you know, when I test clubs, I'm testing a lot of different things out here, and I wanted to see stopping power with a wedge. You can see that this type of club is not really about hitting and spinning back, that sort of stuff you see the pros do. This type of club is about getting you on the green. So we hit here and it rolled out, let's see, 3, 6, about 9 feet or so. One thing to just think about again, especially that being the lowest club in our bag, we still got 9 feet of rollout. When you have a club like the 4-5 hybrid, we're rolling off the back and we're in that short-sided position, which we already found out is very difficult. So think about not only where it's gonna finish, but where it's gonna land to get there. Okay, so I've got a very reasonable, probably 15-foot attempt here at par. Oh! Just missed it. All right, we're heading to a par 5, so we're gonna have a chance hopefully to get that birdie back. But right now we are on the bubble. All right, shorter par 5 here, 369 from this forward set of tees that we're playing today, which means I could maybe get home in 2 and get that birdie back. So 4 hybrids in hand. Hopefully we get off the tee. I'd like to be in a fairway. That would be very nice. All right, we found a fairway. That was really well hit. We'll measure that one too, just to get an idea. I think I hit that a little better than I did in the first hole. All right, so you have an idea, I hit that 193. So these are not gonna be necessarily the longest clubs I've tested for sure, but they're certainly very, very straight, and that's much more important at this stage of the game for most people. All right, let's see what we've got and see if we can get home in 2. Maybe a little bit difficult, but we're gonna give it a shot at 170. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the 5 hybrid in this set, which I have yet to hit. We can put a good swing on it. We're gonna be right near this green. Now there's one bunker I'd like to stay away from on the right-hand side. So again, I'm just gonna sort of cheat a little bit left here. And I completely topped it. Completely topped it, but the good news is it's a par 5. You're allowed one mistake on a par 5, and one good shot can make it a great hole. So we still are not out of contention for a birdie. I got 54 yards here, wedge in hand. So again, another pickup you're gonna need with this set is you're gonna have to find some good wedges that work for you. I'd probably recommend a nice set of secondhand wedges, save some money. And we got our birdie putt. Again, just like I said, you've got one mistake you can make on a par 5, and one good shot can really make the hole. So that was a good shot, but we're also gonna need a good putt here. We have that similar distance we've had about, this is probably about 12 feet though. Did I give it enough? Yeah! All right. So there's our birdie. We're back even after a top shot. They always say there's no pictures on the scorecard, but you see it because I'm recording out here. But we are back to just 1 over. We're heading to 6-year dogleg right. Now, having great clubs is one thing, but you also have to have a good ball, and I've been playing these Volvic balls. I'm playing the Condor here today. Volvic sponsors the channel, allows us to keep these golf club reviews honest and independent, and give us a consistent ball to play. So if you're looking for a golf ball, highly recommend. They've got so many different models over at Volvic, and we've got a discount code down below where you can save up to 20%. I'll leave that down in the description. All right, so I'm gonna give this 5 hybrid another chance here on this dogleg right. There is a bunker out there about 170, so we want to stay left of that, but hate topping the club, so we got to get the confidence back with this one. See if we're short of the bunker. Oh, we're over the bunker. Okay, good. Should be in decent shape. Might be in the rough over there, but That was a heck of a lot better than the top shot. All right, I'm in the rough, but I have a much, much, much better lie here this time. And I'm in perfect position. 108, we're gonna hit that pitching wedge again, which is the one cavity back here in this set. Now this set that I've got goes up to pitching wedge, but they also do offer a gap wedge in this set as well as a sand wedge. So you've got what they call cavity back wedges that you can add to this set as well. All right, let's see if we can put this one, pin's pretty middle of the green. I'm gonna go right at it. Oh yeah, little slight draw in there. Oh, I actually hit it deep. It hit the green, and what I was saying earlier about stopping power, I didn't take that into consideration. I kind of had a little bit of a brain fart there, so we will be off the green, but it's going to be real close to the hole. All right, so here's where we landed. This is my pitch mark. And again, I got a little more rollout than I normally would get from my irons. So it's just something that you got to consider with these. So I've got a downhill chip here, up and down for par is the goal. Go, baby, go, 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 go. I would have liked that a lot closer. So, 10 feet for par. Break. Oh, you gave it too much break. All right, so we're back on the bubble at +2. But the good news is we've got another par 5 ahead of us here soon. First, we got a par 3. All right, 120 is the number, and judging off the last shot, I think I've got the perfect club in my hand with that same swing, pitching wedge again. Let's attack. Drawn in nice, and distance-wise, a lot better. So we can maybe hopefully get that stroke right back. This one is, again, about a 10-footer, very makeable. One thing I'm looking for when I'm reading a green, you kind of think about if you were to drop a ball, which way is it gonna roll? Or which way does the water want to feed off the green? That's one way you can kind of read the breaks. This one, you know, generally water is trying to get to its lowest point. And the lowest point is down there, that little lake. So I'm kind of unsure which way this one could break, but that sort of tips me over that I think it's maybe coming this way a little bit. And I always like to read it from both sides. You want to see it from the back of the cup as well as at the cup. Oh, I gave it more break there at the end again. Oh man, too bad. That was a good opportunity. So we're still on the bubble here at +2 for our over-under. We are heading at par 5. And we're starting to hit more greens, so I've got confidence we can do it. All right, a longer par 5 here. It's gonna play about 415 from these tees. And with a very shallow green, I would say getting home in 2 is unlikely. I'm not gonna overswing again, just looking for a smooth swing, hopefully keep it in play to get us close for our approach shot. Cutting a little corner off though, and that's beautiful. Drawn right around the corner. So there is workability in these clubs. Again, for being such a forgiving club, that's nice. And workability, if you don't know the term, again, the shot shaping ability of this club is pretty good, especially at the hybrids. And you're gonna be able to shape shots at the higher end of the bag anyways, a little bit more than you will at the bottom. But you definitely have some flexibility here. All right, I always like to hit every club in the bag, and one club I don't think I've hit yet is the 8-iron. We've got 206. This 8-iron should get us to about 50, 60 yards, which is how we birdied that other par 5, so it's a good distance for me. That should be perfect. All right, as expected, 52 yards is the number. Spin. Might have rolled off the back. So very shallow green here, and I kind of caught that on a down slope and we rolled off. So we're gonna have to be chipping from off the green here. I'd love to have putt it. If I was on this apron, I could putt it, but from here, I think probably gonna pull out the wedge. Sit, sit. All right, so with 1 hole to play, we were right on our number, still +2. After I hit my tee shot here, I'm going to rank these clubs for you. And again, just tell you who I think they're best suited for. That is perfection. So easy to hit. So let's go ahead and rank these clubs. Now, I'm going to use the same ranking criteria I use for all the clubs we test here on this show, but I really want you to pay attention to a couple categories more so than others. So the first category I always rank for is distance. And again, this is not a distance club. It's really a club meant for beginners and for ease of use. You'll get plenty of distance out of it, but again, it's not going to blow your socks off in terms of distance. That's not what this club's about. So I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5 for distance. But what this club is all about, and the reason you should be considering this club, is forgiveness. And it would be a 7 out of 5, but 5 is as high as I go, so 5 it is. and it's a very strong 5. Now, in terms of workability, this is where these clubs actually surprised me. You've seen me fade the ball, you've seen me draw the ball. It's got some workability built into it. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 3.5 out of 5 for workability, and that's higher than most clubs in this category. That's why I say, like, you know, I'm ranking these based on all the clubs I test, but we really wanna focus on what these clubs are all about, and that is forgiveness, trajectory control, and just ease of use. If I had a category for ease of use, again, these would be like a 10 out of 5, because they're that easy. But our next category is aesthetics, looks, feel, and sound. It's such a tough one because this is not a traditional club, but they are a good looking club. Cobra makes a good looking club. And in terms of sound and feel, again, these clubs really have surprised me. So I think a 4 is in order for aesthetics. And when it comes to value, what are you getting for what you're paying, for the thoughtfulness and the engineering put behind these clubs and everything that's gone into it. And of course, the story, bringing back a club that was designed back in 1975, like I mentioned earlier. I think they did a fantastic job pricing this at a really affordable price for beginners. It's gonna sit a little higher than like a package set, but the quality is gonna be considerably more than that. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a full 5 out of 5 for value. So a really strong score for these clubs. And if you look at all my beginner reviews, this is going to be right up at the top for a beginner set of irons. Or again, if you're a senior or a lady, I think these are fantastic, fantastic clubs. 109 is the number. I think we've had that before. I should hopefully know how to hit this shot. I got to take a little off it because we now know that we're not going to get as much check. And I'm going to play it just a little left of target here because I don't want to be in the bank there on the right. I hit that one thin, but man, what a forgiving club. Let's see where we finish. Finished on the green. I think it held. I think I'm gonna have a putter in my hand. It's gonna be a little longer than I want. Could be on the fringe, but either way, again, goes to the forgiveness of these clubs. So who are these clubs best suited for? Well, like I said, this is gonna make a great set for a lady out there. Whether you're a beginner lady or even a bit more advanced lady and you need a little bit of help, man, it doesn't get a whole lot better than this for ease of use and forgiveness. Look at this, I'm pin high. I've got myself a birdie putt. Again, great club for a senior. If you're starting to lose swing speed, you still want to enjoy your rounds out there. I think it could be a great club for you folks. And then for beginners, again, you won't want to be frustrated out on the golf course. You want to have a lot of forgiveness, a lot of ease of use, very easy club to operate. So those are my 3 categories I think these clubs are best suited for. And we've got 1 putt here to finish it off. Well, 2 to hit our over-under, 1 putt for glory. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be on the number today. I hope you enjoyed this one. Do hit the subscribe button for me, and I'll catch you back next time on another edition of Let's Play Through.